back to another episode of Varsity Views Inside the Huddle Edition. I'm Jax.
And I'm Darian.
And we're brought to you by KeonSports.com. And today we're here with Week 3 of the playoffs, Ohio High School Football Playoffs. And there were some shockers today in these games, but we'll get right into them. Starting off at game number 5 on our top 5 games of the week. St. Ed's versus Canton McKinley. St. Ed's, powerhouse of Ohio high school football. Canton McKinley's had a great season so far. So let's get right into it. First quarter, St. Ed's quarterback Thomas Cezanne found Brian Sullivan for an 11-yard touchdown. That would be the only score of this first quarter as St. Ed starts off strong. That's what they usually do. Canton McKinley should have expected this, but they got to play some better defense going into the second quarter. In the second quarter, St. Ed's again would score another touchdown from Brandon White from 13 yards out after Canton McKinley would fumble a punt, which gave them that possession. However, Canton McKinley would respond in a minor way as quarterback/kicker Keaton Rode would kick a field goal, getting them points on the board. Then, before the half, St. Ed's just went on a run. They would score 3 touchdowns in the final 5 minutes of the half, having the lead at halftime 34-3.
Oh, man, that's that's insane. At this point, you go into that locker room, you just go, you're not going to wave the white flag, but I know you're probably thinking, like, we should just wave the white flag. But it's one of those, hey, y'all, let's just go out there in the second half and give it everything we got to finish our season.
It's hard to come back against any team down by this much, but against St. Ed's, it's
not likely.
Not likely.
At all.
So the third quarter started as Canton McKinley was driving down the field but would end up fumbling the ball, and St. Ed's would recover it. St. Ed's would then score once again, making the lead 41-3. So kind of just heartbreaking game for Canton McKinley right now.
I mean, you don't really expect to come into a game thinking, like, after the season you guys have had, they've had a very, very solid season this year.
Yeah.
And, your final game, if you were to lose, you don't think, like, seeing the scoreboard 41-3 and just go, man, this is how I'm going to end my football season.
Yeah, so Canton McKinley would go into the fourth quarter down by a lot. They would, however, score 2 touchdowns in that fourth quarter, but it just wouldn't be enough to stop St. Ed's, as St. Ed's would come out on top 41-17. Player of the game, just the whole St. Ed's offense. That second quarter stretch of just in 5 minutes scoring 3 touchdowns, that's unbelievable. Great job by the St. Ed's offense. And a great season to Canton McKinley.
Absolutely.
But if you'd like to learn more about this game, go to KeonSports.com. Look for the author Dom Clary. He wrote a great article about it.
Coming in at game number 4, we have South Range versus Clearview. If you guys didn't know, Clearview was actually my alma mater school. Like, that's where. And I didn't think they made it this far. And the fact that they did, I'm happy. Like, because, when you're not known for making deep runs and you shock them, it's like, oh, okay, this season we got some dogs on the squad.
That was my view with Twinsburg this year. Hey, they made it to the second round. Good for them.
He said good for them. So far, we're going to get into the first quarter. So we got South Range throws an interception on the second drive of the game. Man, for me, it's like, ooh, good start for Clearview. We get quick pick 6 off rip. But Clearview's quarterback, Kai Christensen, to Malcolm Lane for a 7-yard touchdown. The score would be 6-0 because they would miss the field goal. So Clearview will take the lead 6-0 to go after the first quarter. Second quarter starts. South Range would respond with a touchdown of their own from Aiden Dominguez. Now the score is now 7-6. South Range is up. We talk about field goals in games.
Them extra points are.
It could be a
lethal.
tie. Yeah, like it could be a tie right now. But guess what? Christensen to Ethan Lorenzada for Clearview for a 38-yard touchdown. Now Clearview is up 13-7. We going back and forth right now. Like we like this back and forthness because you know why? Dominguez for South Range would score another touchdown. It's 14-13, and that would be the score going into halftime. Now, I know the score could be tied going into halftime.
Yeah, game should be tied at halftime, but that's just not how it works after that block.
Literally, like, you want to come out of halftime knowing, like, you guys, it's tie game. You know how I talk about ties at halftime. We coming out, score 0-0. It's all about who can outscore who by the end of this game today. So, coming into the third quarter, South Range's Blake Ewert had a 1-yard touchdown, giving them an extra part of their lead, 21-13.
Still a one-possession game. Clearview is still in striking distance. They just need to get a 2-point conversion if they score.
Absolutely. But Dominguez will score his third touchdown for South Range as they start extending this lead 28-13. I'm not going to lie. It is not looking good.
Not looking good at all for Clearview.
Nope. And then Clearview goes back on offense trying to make some shake, and they would throw an interception.
Clippers are struggling like the NBA Clippers right now, actually.
Yeah, no, you ain't lying. I had to take a little minute and go, man, you got to diss the Clippers too both ways? Okay. South Range would capitalize on that interception with a 13-yard touchdown from Tristan Choi to Brady Crumbacher. Now the score is now 35-13. South Range has definitely came out of halftime with a different mindset.
Locked in. They just locked in.
You ain't said nothing but a thing. Now in the final quarter of play, South Range Crumbacher again would grab an interception. Now it's definitely not looking good for Clearview. Like fourth quarter, throwing another pick. No. It would lead to a South Range 61-yard touchdown from quarterback Toy. Now, the score is now 41-13. They would go for 2, but it would fail. Thank God it did because we can't keep adding the score up like this.
Well, it doesn't end there.
It does not end there because you know why? Clearview, unfortunately, could not convert on their next drive. South Range will get the ball. Dylan Smesko would have a 29-yard touchdown for them, and now they just keep increasing the lead. It's 48-13, and at this point, it's probably safe to say that they're going to walk off with this one today. Clearview will respond as Lorenzano would have a 4-yard touchdown. They would go for 2. It would be completed as well. They would be successful.
There you go. There's a positive.
Yeah, they end on a positive, but they would lose this game 48-21 as this was the final score. Player of the game for South Range was running back Aiden Dominguez, who had 3 touchdowns and an interception on just 40 yards.
Heck of a game out of Aiden Dominguez.
On just 40 yards. 3 touchdowns and an interception on just 40 yards. So if you guys want to read up more about this, make sure you guys go to KeonSports.com. Look up the author, Nathan Smee. He saw a pretty solid game. And he saw greatness.
Saw a lot of
South
touchdowns.
Range. Oh, most definitely.
A lot of touchdowns. With that, let's head into game number 3, Walsh Jesuit versus Hudson. Hey, you couldn't pronounce Walsh Jesuit last week, but
I definitely could not pronounce that name to save my life.
I think this was a game on our preview for games of the week this week, and here it is. First quarter, Walsh would snag an interception, which would lead to a 22-yard touchdown from quarterback Kellen Moten to Aiden Henry going up 7-0. That'd be the only point scored in the first quarter as we move on to the second. In the second quarter, Hudson would snag an interception, which would lead them to an 18-yard touchdown from quarterback Peyton Nayer to Trey Sharp, tying the game at 7. However, Walsh wasn't going away as quarterback Keller Moten would score 2 rushing touchdowns before the half, taking the lead 21-7 in halftime. So Walsh not messing around, coming right out. Hey, we're going to run this ball with our quarterback, and he's going to score.
I mean, listen, if I'm literally Walsh, I'm feeling pretty comfortable right now.
Oh, of course. Up 21-7 at halftime of a playoff game, you got to feel comfortable.
Just not too comfortable because, the job is not finished. We done seen a lot of times where people can go up at half and then just get lackadaisical and just fold.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So
heading into the second half, Walsh quarterback Moten would then run for an 80-yard touchdown, taking the lead 28-7. I mean,
80?
Is this a quarterback or is this a running back? This kid is a special talent. Walsh would then get another touchdown. This time Moten would find Aiden Henry for a touchdown, making it 35-7. Walsh is running away with this one quite literally as the quarterback is running all over them, but then he's also throwing 2 touchdowns. Heading into the fourth quarter, Hudson's quarterback Peyton Nayer would find Nolan Tanner for a touchdown, making it 35-14. But that would end up being the final score of this game as Walsh Jesuit comes out on top 35-14. Player of the game was Walsh quarterback Keller Moten with 3 rushing touchdowns and 2 passing touchdowns in the game. Sounds like Lamar Jackson to me. I mean, running all over the field, doing all this. What a great player.
He's a one-man army.
Hey, if you'd like to learn more about this game, go to KeonSports.com and look for the author Tony Bogan.
Coming in at game number 2 on the week, we have Avon versus Olmsted Falls. Now, we've talked about Avon and Olmsted Falls for a little bit during our season this year.
Uh-huh.
They got a lot of D1 talent over here. if I would say so myself. So we're gonna jump right into this game because honestly, I think this will be pretty close.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna see how this unfolds.
That's why it's game number 2.
Oh, you ain't lying. Coming in the first quarter for this Avon versus Olmsted Falls game, nobody scored. Nobody scored in the first quarter. The defense was just too tight from both teams. Each one has tried, but when you're in a playoff game like this and you're playing against Avon, who is a very well-respected team.
Oh, yeah. Undefeated on the season.
Literally undefeated on the season. So well-respected is just me giving them that courtesy because I could say, like, they're just a tank right now. Like, they can't be stopped. And Olmsted Falls, who is very, very solid, who had a very solid season, is playing against them. And, holding an undefeated team to no score in the first quarter is beautiful. Coming into the second quarter, though, Olmsted Falls will be the first team to score as they will get a rushing touchdown from Jimmy Rosal. 7-0, just like that, to go up on Avon.
Mm-hmm.
You got to be the first one to attack.
Hey,
So
if you're Olmsted Falls, you feel good getting points on the board first over Avon. Avon's a tough team to score on, and, hey, that's what you like to see.
Yep, but Avon would come back and get a score of their own, but it would be not a touchdown. It would be a field goal as Owen Warwick would hit a 26-yard, well, not hit, but kick a 26-yard field goal. And the score would be 7-3, and that's what it would be going into halftime. So, obviously, so far, this first half is low scoring.
Yeah, low scoring, defensive battle. The teams know each other well. It's going to be a close one. You know it's going to be a close one.
Yeah, I'm definitely expecting them in the second half, both teams to, run it up a little bit on the scoreboard. So, we're going to see how this is going to happen. Third quarter, Avon quarterback Nolan Good got hurt as Blake Elder stepped in. And guess what? Avon gets a 36-yard field goal. And now it's 7-6. So Avon is chipping away.
With a backup quarterback. That's what you asked for him.
Literally.
Hey, just get us points. However you can do it, just get us points.
Yeah, so we did get somebody for Avon as a kicker, though, to get a 36-yard field goal. 7-6. Avon's chipping away at this, the lead that Olmsted Falls has on them. But 7-6. Let's see what's going to be shaking. Olmsted Falls will turn the ball over on downs after a bang-bang play. Ooh, that sounds crazy.
Hey, it was a close play. He almost got the first down something. He did get the first down, which would have been ruled a touchdown. They were on the 1-yard line. So
that's unfortunate.
There's no replay in high school football, but in the NFL, this might have gotten overturned. We'll never know, though.
Nope. As Avon took advantage of it, as running back Jacorian Caffrey would score a 7-yard touchdown, giving his team the lead, making it 12-7, and that would be the score at the end of the third quarter. Now, Avon's in a pretty solid position. They're up now 12-7. The fourth quarter is going to be tight. I can already see it right now. It's going to be tight, so let's get into it. In the final quarter of play, Olmsted Falls would face a 4th and goal, and they would score a touchdown from Connolly to Rosal, as the score is now 15-12 because they would go for the 2-point conversion, and they would complete it as well. So now Olmsted Falls is up 3 points in the fourth quarter. If you're Olmsted Falls, you got to be feeling good that you were able to take the lead.
Oh, 100%. That's exactly what you need in this fourth quarter of these playoff games.
Literally. So all they got to do is play great defense. But guess what? It was not that great because Avon responds with a 78-yard touchdown from Elder to Cole Kepner. 19-15, just like that.
Look at the backup quarterback slinging that thing 78 yards for a touchdown, keeping them in this game, getting the lead back. That's what you like to see out of the backup.
Hey, Avon team as a whole is deep. So, Olmsted Falls goes for a fake punt, but it doesn't work. They don't get it.
And that is what could come back to bite you. Going for a fake punt in a game this close, you got to be able to trust your defense to get a stop against a backup quarterback.
Well, guess what? Since it didn't work, it would result into an Avon 38-yard touchdown from Elder to Matt Maxey. Now the score is 26-15, and we're still in the fourth quarter. It looks like Avon is literally trying to run away with this game. So, guess what? Olmsted Falls scored quick from a Rosal 9-yard touchdown. Now the score is now 26-23 because you know why? They would go for the 2-point conversion again, and they would complete it again.
3-point game, you're right back in it.
26-23. Now, Olmsted Falls would recover an onside kick, but there was a flag.
They touched the ball before it went 10 yards down the field. That's a flag. The receiving team automatically gets the ball.
Let me tell you, you had a shot. It was a good idea. It was kind of well executed, just a little too soon. Like, That right there is probably was going to cost them because you know why? Avon Jacorian Caffrey would go for 27 yards and get a touchdown. The score is now 33-23, and that would be the final score of the game as Avon would beat Olmsted Falls. Player of the game was quarterback Blake Elder, who went 4 for 7 on 116 yards and 2 touchdowns. That's also solid.
Backup quarterback playing one half of football, coming in 4 for 7, 116 yards and 2 touchdowns. As a backup, that's a perfect game, exactly what you need. Probably exceeded of what expectations of what people expected when he came in the game. Won them this playoff game. Great job by the backup Blake Elder.
No, you said the right word, playoff game.
Yeah.
Won a playoff game, man. So I know everybody was ecstatic and excited.
Oh,
for
yeah,
this.
that locker room was probably on fire.
Absolutely. If you guys want to read more about this, make sure you guys go to KeonSports.com. Look up the author, Vince McKee. Y'all know exactly who that is. That is the big dog himself. So make sure y'all go tap in and go check it out. Leave a comment. Let them know what's good.
And with that, we reach our number 1 game of the week, Medina versus Cleveland Heights. Another game that we previewed last week. Said, hey, we're going to have to watch out for this one. It's going to be a good one. In the regular season, it was a high-scoring affair. Medina won by 10, but it was 62-52.
Wow.
So let's get in to see what happens in this game. Let's see if Cleveland Heights could adjust to Danny Stoddard. First quarter, they couldn't adjust to Danny Stoddard as Medina's quarterback would find Austin Knowles, one of his favorite receivers, for a 41-yard touchdown, making it 7-0. So Medina getting that score. Hey, that's what this team's going to do. They're going to score. Cleveland Heights quarterback, however, Amar Lakes, would respond with an 8-yard rushing touchdown, tying the game at 7 heading into the second quarter. In the second quarter, Cleveland Heights would try a surprise onside kick, but they couldn't capitalize on it. But don't worry. Medina's quarterback Stoddard would throw an interception after a tip ball. Cleveland Heights, though, they couldn't respond after that. So a little bit of defense being played here in the second quarter. Teams, turnovers, not being able to score off of those turnovers. It's looking kind of rough. We're not used to seeing Medina like that, and neither Cleveland Heights.
Yeah, you just really got to be able to capitalize when you're able to force turnovers.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it's a playoff game. You know the team that you're playing against. You don't want to give anybody no breathing room. If you got an interception or forced a fumble or whatever the case may be, you got to score.
Mm-hmm. And before the half, Medina would reach the 1-yard line, but on 4th and goal, they would be stuffed at the line, no touchdown. We'd go into half tied at 7. So huge stop for Cleveland Heights not to give Medina momentum, and they take the momentum into halftime. Heading into the third quarter, Cleveland Heights was stopped on 4th down twice beginning the half. Medina they'd take advantage of this as quarterback Stoddard found Austin Knowles again for another touchdown, making it 14-7. That's all that would happen in that third quarter. Now we go into winning time, fourth quarter. Cleveland Heights running back Marquise Davis would score a 25-yard rushing touchdown, tying the game at 14.
Oh, it's getting serious.
Yeah, you got that right.
Yeah, fourth quarter tie game, it's lit.
But Medina wasn't going for it, as Stoddard would find Jack Wojciak for a 26-yard touchdown, making the game 21-14 with 1:42 left in this ball game. Hey, this is Cleveland Heights. This is winning time. This is what you prepared all season for. Can they respond? That's the question. Cleveland Heights quarterback Lakes would find Amir Atkins for a 48-yard touchdown, making it 21-20. Now they have a decision to make. Do they kick a point after, or do they go for 2 and try to win this game?
Hey, you already know how I am, man.
What would you do?
Overtime. I feel like it's always a safe bet. Not saying I don't trust my team.
Overtime against Danny Stoddard, though?
Got to.
They have held him in check. Yeah, he's thrown 3 touchdowns, but they've held him in check.
Honestly, you want to say, listen, y'all, if you tell it, it's like you want to go for the 2-point conversion, you go for the win. If you decide to go for the win and that you make it, that's a dub. Mm-hmm. But if you don't, you guys lose. But at least knowing that I know my guys are conditioned and ready to go to overtime if needed. Mm-hmm. So if anything, I want to be able to just say, let's just take it to overtime and give another shot, 0-0.
Well, let's paint the picture. 32 seconds left. Playoff game. Cleveland Heights decides to go for it. Go for 2. 21-20. The 2-point attempt failed. It failed.
Sick. Stomach. Cramps. No.
Cleveland Heights, they went for it all. They went for the win, which I don't blame them. But again, you could have tied this game, gone into overtime. I know the coach is probably thinking about that now. Tough break, but hey, I give him credit for trusting his team. He trusted his team to go win this game.
I mean, I would.
They just couldn't capitalize.
I absolutely would too. I would trust my team to go for the win. I trust my players, my quarterback, receivers, the line, everything. But in this position, it's just like, look, y'all, like this is Medina too. I could feel you if you want to go for the win because it's like I don't know if we can go another couple minutes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Risking it with Medina. So if we got a chance to win, I'm all for trying to get the win now.
No, I get it. But that would be the final. Medina comes out on top in a 1-point game, 21-20. Player of the game, Medina quarterback Danny Stoddard, who threw 3 touchdowns, but also a shout-out to both teams' defenses as, hey, we went from a 62-52 game in the regular season to a 21-20 game in this playoff game. So great job by both defenses. If you'd like to learn more about this game, go to KeonSports.com. Look for the author Cole McDaniel, who witnessed the best game of the week in our opinion, and just an overall great game. Now, player of the week this week, it's kind of obvious.
He said it's kind of obvious.
Avon backup quarterback Blake Elder, 4 for 7, 116 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Came in the game when the starter got hurt, led this team to victory over Olmsted Falls. I mean, that's all you could ask for out of a backup quarterback. He's only in the 10th grade.
Hey, a
So
sophomore
he's got
is
a
getting
little future.
playoff experience.
Yeah, that's scary for other teams.
Literally, if you tell me he could come in like that and handle his business like that for the team in a playoff game?
Yeah, unprepared, injury happens, not ready, and comes in, has a great stat line, and leads his team to victory.
Absolutely. Shoot, let's get into our playoff preview games.
Hey, I'm ready.
We got Region 1. We got the number 1 team, St. Ed's, who is 11-1, versus number 6, Medina, who's 9-3. I think this will be
That is
solid.
gonna be
It's going to be a game. It's going to be a great
Danny
game.
Stoddard's toughest test in his high school career, I'd say.
Playing number 1, St. Ed's, who not only won it last year, but won it
Hey, they win
the
a lot.
year before.
They win a lot.
But as far as he's been in high school, this team is looking to three-peat. Is Dan Stoddard the answer?
Yeah. Hey, if anybody could do it, it's him, I think.
No, literally. I don't, if they don't do it, you might as well just crown St. Ed's now because I don't really see too many other teams being able to compete with them.
No. Region 5, we got number 1 Hoban at 11-1 versus number 2 Walsh Jesuit at 12-1. Hey, 2 powerhouses. Hoban's been fantastic this year. Walsh has just been, as we saw, their quarterback can run and throw. Had 5 total touchdowns in that game this week. I mean, I'm excited to see the outcome of this one.
Absolutely. And for a team that I couldn't pronounce, and we've had them twice.
Walsh Jesuit.
Good work, y'all. Coming in at Region 6, we have number 1 Avon, who is still undefeated, 13-0, versus
With their backup quarterback, maybe.
Maybe.
We don't know.
With number 3 Highland, who is 11-2. Now, this again will be a very, very solid game to watch.
Hey, I'm interested to see if Nolan Good can play. If not, Blake Elder, he's going to have to step in there and have an even tougher task against Highland. Protect that undefeated record as a backup.
And it's a number 3 team, too.
Yeah.
Someone who's extremely solid that can really give Avon a run for their money.
Mm-hmm. But Highland's going to have to stop Jacory and Caffey because that kid is special.
Absolutely.
And in Region 7, we got number 1 Massillon Washington at 13-0 versus number 3 Green at 10-3. Massillon Washington, the only team to beat Eds this year. They're a powerhouse as well. DeJuan Owens, quarterback. I mean, he just keeps winning every week. Green's gonna have a tough matchup, but
for real.
It's going to be a great game.
Absolutely. Yeah, you're right. He's been winning every week for 13 weeks straight. You didn't say nothing but a thing. So hopefully the one got a whole lot of gas in his tank to keep on winning. Because if he does, Massillon would have a crazy undefeated record for the entire season and through the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, the one, if you ever come across this, bro, keep winning, my boy. Keep winning. But that's all the time we got today, everybody. Thank you guys for tuning in to another episode of Inside the Huddle, brought to you by Keon Sports. I've been your host, Darian.
And I'm Jax.
And we're going to catch y'all in the next one.